Hello, welcome to the Just Some Magic podcast. I am your host, Morgan, and here on Just Some Magic, we like to share people's most magical moments in and out of the park. And wait, no, we like to share people's most. We like to share people's most magical moments in the park. And this is a super exciting episode. And we're bringing back a guest, a world famous guest, who I said was going to be on a lot more, but has only been on twice at the moment. But we had to bring her on for the 100th episode. It is my dear friend, Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me back. I'm so excited to be here.
About damn. I was
I
going to
know.
say, it's about damn time.
Time.
In a minute. A minute.
Your schedule is just too tight. We couldn't squeeze me in, so I'm glad it worked
Yes.
out.
It was really fun, and I'm very excited. And the thing we're
Yes.
going to talk about today, if you want to give them a little teaser of what is now going to be, yes, this is 100 episode, but it's also an anniversary for us.
Yes, a very special anniversary. 10 years ago this year, Morgan and I met during our Disney College program. So super
Magic.
exciting.
I feel
Yay.
like the SpongeBob like friendship, like with the rainbow that appears. Oh my
I can't
gosh,
believe
but
we've known each other for 10 years. That kind of blows my mind because when you think about it, it feels like I've known you forever, like my whole life, but also like it
mhm.
feels like just yesterday. So it's
Right.
wild.
I agree too. Like yes, like before college, like as we're getting older, it becomes more and more of a blur, but yeah, 10 years just flew by. And
It did.
do you remember during our Disney college program when we were so it's 2013. So just to put everything in perspective, whenever you time frame y'all listen is 2013 is when we did our college program. I started May 13th. Sarah, you started
June, June 11th,
June
I want
11th.
to say.
So
Yes.
barely almost a month apart. So we're during the Disney college program, we're making other friends in addition to being really good best friends with each other at the program. But we're like, oh, we should have an anniversary or we should all come back for Disney World's 50th. Do you remember talking about that?
Yes, I do. And I'm sad that it didn't happen, but
It didn't. No. And also the 50th was underwhelming, so that was fine that we missed it.
that's fair. John and I, we went to the 50th, but it was also during Christmas. So I feel like we kind of
Oh,
got like a cross between two. So we did have a good experience, but I
yes.
definitely did hear that the 50th on its own was not as exciting as a lot of people were anticipating. So,
Absolutely. Because you've been to Disneyland's 60th, right?
yes, yeah.
Or I know you were there for a big anniversary at Disneyland because for those that don't know, Sarah's located in Arizona. I have been all over the freaking place. So finding time zones, I'm like, Sarah, am I 2 hours ahead, 2 hours or 3 hours, or am I 1 hour behind? Like what's the
Doing a lot
time?
of time zone math.
It is. It's very trouble or very difficult.
Yeah, so if we went for the 60th. So we did go
Mhm.
for the 60th. I believe yeah, that was no, that was not the year John and I got engaged. I want to say it was the year before. So
Right. I
I'm trying to
I
like
know it
remember the
was
timeline.
I think that's right because it wasn't because I wasn't around for the 60th because I hadn't moved there yet and you guys got engaged when I
The
lived
year
there.
that you moved there. That's right. That's right.
Yes. And
Yeah,
it
so
worked
we
out.
did go for the 60th, which was a lot of fun. And for me, oh, so it was in 2016. So it was the year before we got engaged. And that was a lot of fun. That celebration,
Yes.
from what I remember with the Diamond celebration, was a lot more involved than what it felt like the
Mhm.
50th was at Disney World.
Definitely, definitely. But I do remember us being like, let's go, let's do this and stuff. And now like it's been now past the 50th and it's like, wow, that went by quick. Because at the time it felt like
It's
that's such a long ways away and everything.
plenty of time to plan.
Yes. I've been thinking about this. So, during the college program, I turned 21 and we could probably talk about that because I haven't like fully talked about it in depth on the show. I'm about to turn 31 the end of this year. And I'm like, you know, in my birthday was in December. It was at the end of the college program. It didn't necessarily feel like a birthday celebration. It really felt like just everybody coming together and like kind of celebrating the end of the program. It just happened to be celebrating my 21st birthday. And it was just so nice to have everybody there. And like you were there all day, Sarah, and other people were coming in and out. It was so wild. But I almost want to be like, all right, let's have a reunion for my 31st birthday now 10 years later, but it doesn't I don't want to necessarily make it about me, just like let's all get together because I would love to see everybody again, the whole
We
gang.
should. We should definitely, and I mean, depending on when everybody can, it would be so much fun to go
Yes.
back and kind of like see the parks with everybody and kind of just go back and relive some of those memories that we all have.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And so, for those that don't know, Sarah is on episode 1 and episode 11. So, if you like more Disney, go to episode 1. If you like more Universal, episode 11.
I
What?
can
What?
only be on episodes with the number 1 in them because
Yes.
100 is just 1 and 0. So
Yes.
it all makes sense. That's why I couldn't come back until the
Yes.
100th episode.
You had to wait. Yes. Oh, honestly,
Yes,
that
and then
does
I'll be
make
on 111. So on the 100th and
you
11th episode,
promise me?
promise,
Promise me.
pinky promise.
Alright, guys, you heard that. She will be back for the 111th episode.
But then
This is
that'll
tongue
be
tied.
my last episode ever. I'll have to retire
No.
after that.
Well, no, well, maybe the 1,000th episode?
Okay, yeah, well, we're both in our 60s. Perfect.
Okay, wait a minute.
Or just keep pumping out these podcast episodes back to
Alright.
back.
Good motivation, good motivation. Awesome. But we'll have you definitely for the 100th and 11th, and then but it has to be universal just to match
It
the
does
original
to make it, yeah. Listen. All
Ooh.
right.
And that was a really good story from the 11th. Like,
Yes.
this is gonna sound silly, but when I'm, like, letting people know that I have a podcast, I say, "Okay, if you wanna listen to episode with me, I recommend episode either 1 or 11 because it's with my best friend Sarah," and then I kinda gauge, like, "Oh, you like Harry Potter more? Listen to episode 11. Okay, you like Disney World more? Episode
Episode
1."
1.
But
Perfect.
you guys should definitely go back and listen to those. You guys totally just kind of get our friendship and the chaos. But yeah, so just a reminder, we worked at World of Disney College Program in 2013. We both lived. Where did we live, Sarah?
Vista Way, which I'm
This
pretty sure
way.
doesn't exist anymore, which is so devastating.
Okay, checked. It does exist,
Oh.
but as normal apartment complexes.
Oh, so just regular people live there now.
Regular people live there. I actually, when I was shopping around
Wild.
for apartments, I knew a girl that was moving from the old Chatham apartments to the old Vista Way apartments, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Whoa, that's wild!"
that's
Like,
crazy.
and to give those an idea, Vista Way was the bottom barrel of
It was the cheapest apartment option, so let's just lead with that.
yes, and I know we didn't talk about this originally, but like, was there a reason you chose that, or like, because I chose it because it was the cheapest, because I was like,
Same.
okay,
Yeah,
and
and I had met, so I don't know if you went through the same process, but in order to find a roommate for the college program, you could always go the option of just being like randomly selected and placed in
Mhm.
an apartment, or you had the option to go in and kind of designate who you wanted your roommates to be if you had
Mhm.
enough people to fill the type of room you were looking for. So I was actually a part of like this Facebook group for
Mhm.
the Fall Advantage 2013 where it was all the people who had already been accepted for the program looking for different roommates. So I kind of got to meet my roommates beforehand. And I was lucky enough to meet one of my roommates. Her name is Jen. She had already done the program before, so she had so much knowledge going into it.
Oh,
And I think she was the one who might have, if not like recommended Vista Way, at least like told us it was the most affordable option. So with that being in mind and wanting to live with 5 other girls, we were like, let's just do Vista Way as our number one choice. Because I think you have to rank them from what I remember, like which
I think
apartment
you're right.
complex you want versus like 1 through 3. So I think Vista
Mhm.
was our number one option just because it was the most like cost effective. And I mean, it
For sure.
definitely had a reputation of being the more like fun apartment complex, I'll say. So I think that was
More
also a big,
social is the
yes, more
kind word, but
social. That's
party
the better way
animals
to put it. Yeah, because some like each of the complexes had a different type of reputation. Like I think Chatham was mostly like international
Mhm.
college program students that were staying there, and then Patterson didn't have like I don't know if I should say it, but it was like the retirement community. I guess you could say
Oh,
it was like the least rowdy.
yes, it was like those people that are here and probably gonna get a professional internship after their college program
Yes.
and work their
Or
way
they're
up through
still
corporate.
fully enrolled in school and like they're taking classes while they're here on their
Yeah,
program or whatever that
probably barely going
situation.
to the probably barely going to the
Yeah,
parks, like, oh, yeah,
maybe.
where I feel like we were always in the parks if we could. I've
Yes.
mentioned this on I was on a guest podcast, and they asked me, like, what it was like, like, what did it our typical day look like, and I said, "Honestly, like, because we worked at World of Disney, which is located back in my day, it was downtown Disney, but now it's
Yes.
Disney Springs." And, I was like, "We would go to Typhoon Lagoon across the street for a couple
Mhm.
hours because our usual shift was, like, 7 p.m. to
Yeah.
2 a.m. That was our usual shift."
We were working those late night hours for sure.
Mhm. Yeah,
They
we
were
got
working
the
us to the bone. Just kidding.
they they were, like, a 60-hour work week, a 70-hour work week was not
It was not unheard
surprising.
of. Yeah.
Not unheard of. But, yeah, we both lived at Vista Way. We didn't meet initially. I think we probably
Mm-mm.
saw each other on the bus a couple of times, but it wasn't till the fall program came in, which starts in, like, August, September, where our program started,
Yes.
May and June. Um, so we didn't know each other, but then the other program came in, we met through a mutual friend, and then just, go listen to episode 1. It's a great one. That's why it was
Yes.
number 1. Um, but yeah, we had a wild time working at World of Disney. I think we mentioned this on the first one. I should have re-listened to it, but we switched name tags.
We did. We did that a lot. We switched
Oh,
name tags a lot during the program just for fun.
and it wasn't like just a casual, like, switch every other day. Like, we kept each
No,
other's name
for
tag for
weeks.
weeks, if not
Yeah.
going into months. Because I remember a manager coming up to me, or they're called coordinators or leaders, and they go, "Sarah," to me, and I've had this name tag for a month, but then it was, like, right after we switched back, and I'm like, I didn't respond, and they look again, they go, "Morgan?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and they were like they have that, like, puzzled look on their face, like, "I coulda sworn her name was Sarah," like
We just look so much alike, they just got us confused.
yeah, oh
Just
my
kidding.
god.
No, I feel yeah, no, we definitely goofed around a lot in that way, and it was a lot of
Mhm.
fun because you have to, like, if you're working almost 10 hours a day, like, 5 days a week straight, you've gotta kinda do the things that'll
Yes.
entertain you, like, while you're on the clock, so
Y yes, I joke, but I'm like, it was definitely trauma bonding working a Disney college program. It's
it
like, you
was
get Go ahead, go ahead.
No, it's definitely, like, a different like, that's probably one of the most intense jobs that I've had, not from, like, a technical standpoint, but just from, like, the hours that you're working and the
Yeah.
number of people that you're working with on a daily basis and just,
Mhm.
like, hopping around from different locations in the one place, like, every hour it felt like, so it was a very
Oh,
demanding job for sure.
oh my gosh, it was yeah, I think that's exactly spot on, and again, it's been 10 years, we've, graduated college, we've had professional jobs, but that was the most physically demanding, emotionally demanding job we've ever had, and, like, mind you, I
Yes.
I don't regret it, I don't, not cause
Oh,
like,
no. I still take a lot of what I've learned, like, from World of Disney and just working for Disney in general and incorporate that into my professional career, and I feel like
ooh,
a lot of what I learned working at World of Disney as far as, like, a customer service standpoint goes, like, has directly translated into how I carry myself as a professional now, so it was a really cool
yes.
experience to be able to, like, learn those different skill sets or just learn that next level of customer service that Disney has to be able to like have those skills. So
Oh,
definitely
definitely.
worthwhile.
So almost immediately after the college program and, like, applying for other jobs, I know not as much now because it's a lot lower on our resume because, again, it's been 10 years. Did you have interviews for jobs that literally just stopped in the middle of it and they were like, "Wait, you worked for Disney?"
That still happens, like, I have a like, in the
Really?
workplace that I work now, that was a talking point, like, during my interview, just
Oh.
because it's one of those things where you don't, I feel like, see it on a lot of people's resumes, so whenever they see Disney, there are definitely always questions asked around it, and,
Mhm.
of course, asking from, like, the technical standpoint, like, how can you use this to translate into the job that you're applying for, but also just out of, like, pure curiosity, like, what is it like to work for Disney?
Yes, I definitely have gotten the pure curiosity questions in addition to proper interview questions for
Mhm.
sure. I love that they still ask you about that.
Yeah.
They're like,
I mean,
"Hey."
I have it on my, like, as not like I don't think it's under my job experience section anymore, I just have it, like, as a little blurb, like, under my
Yes.
internship section, so it's still on my resume. I think it'll be on my resume probably for the rest of my life, like, it's one of the most, like, proud accomplishments that I think I have,
Oh,
so
definitely. 'Cause, I think again, might have mentioned this in episode 1, but about I think I remember 30,000 kids applied the year that we did, and
Mhm.
only 2,000 got accepted.
Yeah, I think it was 2,000 Disney World and then, like, 1,000 Disneyland, so it's pretty competitive.
Yes, and also too, sorry, jumping around, this is what I was gonna say before, but in Arizona too, having on your resume Disney World, which is not
Mhm.
close, like Disneyland's much, much closer. I think that definitely stopped people in their tracks for sure and being like, "Whoa, she worked
Yes.
at Disney World?" And literally, it was the biggest Disney store in the world and still is to this day, and it got even bigger. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's so big.
and Sarah and I, we've been meaning to go back to Disney World together. We've been to Disneyland countless times, like
Yes.
countless, but and we if you wanted to tell what we were gonna do before.
Well, we had initially a reunion planned for April of 2020. And of course, like everybody else's story, it kind of was a circumstance where COVID happened and we had to cancel. So, with just the craziness of life and work and everything that we both got going on, we had to end up canceling due to COVID and we haven't had a chance to replan it. But we were talking earlier and we're definitely making it a priority to have that happen here sometime very,
Yes.
very soon. So,
Oh my god. Yes. One know what we should do, especially now that it has been 10 years? We
what?
should recreate some of our pictures that we've
That would be,
taken
oh my
there.
gosh. That would be so much fun. Okay, listen, hear me out for the 111th episode. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, yes. Well, no, well, the 111 is gonna be Universal related, so I guess we
That's
gotta
true.
go to
Okay, scratch that. We can
scratch
go to
that, and we haven't
Universal.
been
We've never
we
been
haven't
to
been
Orlando Universal together.
together ever, ever, ever.
Never,
Um,
ever, ever.
but we've been to the Hollywood one, hence that
Yes.
original story, episode 11. So I guess we gotta hit up both, man. Girls trip.
Might as
Whoop,
well.
whoop.
Let's go.
Girls
I'm
trip
packing my bags
2020.
now.
Perfect. I'll meet you there.
2024. We're doing it
2020.
next year for sure. We're putting it
All
out
right,
into the
guys.
universe now.
This is
You
in
heard it here
writing.
first.
Verbal writing, okay? You guys can all
Verbal.
get mad at her and me if this doesn't happen. Um, but yeah, so we should honestly too, because the costumes, in addition to the new renovation and the makeover of
Yes,
World of Disney, the costumes got updated. And
they
they're so
did.
much better. They're
I'm
not
pretty sure, don't they wear jeans now? Like, it, or
Yes.
at least it looks like jeans. That's so much better
Y
than the high-waisted khakis with the
yes.
black belt. Okay, I don't know if you wanna talk about this on the podcast, but
Okay.
remember the adventure we had getting our belly buttons pierced?
We can totally
During
talk about
Okay.
Yes,
So,
yes. Yes.
speaking of the high-waisted grandpa khakis that we had to wear, I forget what sparked it, and I forget when during our program this was, but Morgan and I both decided it would be a great idea before work one day to go and
Before
get
work,
our
before that 7 p.m.
before
shift.
yeah, before our 7 p.m. shift to go and get our belly buttons pierced because we had both always wanted to do that. So, in doing so, we conned one of our really, really close friends at the time, Andrew, into driving us to this piercing shop that we had found relatively close to the apartment that we were living in. Do you
Oh,
remember
that's why
that?
he came. I didn't realize,
Yeah,
because like,
because
we
neither
didn't
of
have
us had a car.
car.
We're like, how are we
I
gonna get
don't
there?
Uber wasn't really a big thing
Uber
10
wasn't a
years
thing.
ago.
Yeah.
like, taxis were a thing. That's why he came. I thought he was
So
just
we're
there for
like,
moral support.
"Andrew,
Okay.
we'll buy you lunch if you drive us
Yes,
to this
and
tattoo
we'll get
parlor.
this
We're getting our
in
belly button pierced."
Orlando,
Yeah.
probably on International Drive, somewhere kinda sketchy, like
It was definitely an experience, but I'll never forget when we went, you were like, "You made me go first because you thought I was gonna be the one to chicken out." So I'm
yes,
like,
out
"Okay."
of the 2 of us, it would have been Sarah. Oh,
Okay, but then what
but
actually happened was I go
Sarah
first and I'm like, "All right, let's do it." And I mean, of course it's not a comfortable, but it's fast. So like it didn't hurt by any stretch.
yeah.
But I think just the sight of the needle going into my belly button was enough to make you then feel
Oh.
very uncomfortable. So I'm sitting on the table like getting this done, like he's putting the ring in, like he's done. And
Mhm.
then Morgan's like, "I don't know about this." And I'm like, "Girl, you better." I will hold no, I'm just kidding. I was like, "You
Yes.
better."
I I literally go, "I don't think I can do this," like, as I at that point in my life, I had no tattoos, I've just had, the normal piercings, a couple cartilage piercings, and which I ended up having to take out because of the Disney College program because their rules
Yeah,
were, like, stricter back then, but I just saw the needle, the skin biology little graphic, like, just go through your skin and out the
yeah.
other side, and it's not like a little ear piercing where it's, like, out of
No.
sight and it's small, a chunk of skin. Might have to, like, again,
You're like,
warning,
"I need a
graphic.
minute."
I was like, "Oh, no. Oh, no." But then I genuinely after I said, like, "I don't know if I could do this," I'm like, "It'll be a lot worse if I fight you guys on it, so I just need to go ahead and do it."
You
Like,
know, you
verbally
def and
fight,
you it
not
was something that you had wanted, so it
Mhm.
was one of those things where you just needed a little encouragement, which is
Right.
absolutely okay, but
You need your friends to help you not chicken out, like,
yeah.
be brave. And, do you remember, like, right after I got it done, I thought I was gonna throw up.
Yes, yeah, it was definitely it's one
Oh,
of those things where it's kind of like it's not painful, but there's like a small adrenaline rush that comes with it. So you don't initially like feel it right off the bat, but then like
yeah.
once you've had a chance to kind of settle with like the ring, like it's
Yes.
a weird
Whoa.
sensation. You're just like, "Oh my goodness, like this is crazy." But
Yes.
then so very shortly after that, we had to go to work and
Wait, wait,
we
wait,
like
wait, wait, pause. So,
yes.
back up a little bit. So, I was, like, feeling nauseous, and I very strictly remember, like, the guy being like, "Oh, did you eat anything today?" And I go, "No," because I knew
Oh,
I was coming here and I don't wanna throw up, and he goes, "Oh, that's even worse." And I'm like,
oh
"Oh, great."
no.
And
Now
then
you tell me.
now you tell me. And I remember us going back to my apartment before work. I think we had our change of clothes or whatever. I don't
Mhm.
even Andrew wasn't even working that day. But also,
No.
Andrew at the appointment was having the best time
He was
ever.
having a blast.
He was like dance mom taking close-up video and pictures while we're both like
Fighting for our lives on this table, like, I'll never forget just, like, the angle and, like, the looks on our face and just all of it. Oh my
But
gosh.
he got his payment of going and driving us by watching us basically get tortured. So,
Yes.
it
And
was
a free
great.
lunch, so it
And a
worked
free
out for
lunch.
him totally,
Yes. And
but
we go back to my apartment. I think we're just sitting there. I don't know if I already had my costume on for work. I might have. I probably have. And we were watching a movie. We watched it for quite a while. And we get up and I look down
Oh, I
and
forgot.
my belly button was bleeding and I go,
Just
"Oh,
bleeding.
that happened."
Just
Okay. Because it
okay,
wasn't
good.
hurting, so I didn't
Yeah.
notice it, so I think I, like, switched and changed and, like, bandaged it up or something, but
Mhm.
because of our dang costumes,
Yeah,
it was
and there was no way to cover it where, like, either the belt or, like, the top of our pants wouldn't, like, rub or cause that friction against the new piercing, so we definitely didn't think that all the way through, for sure. So that
we
was a
did ver
very uncomfortable first couple weeks of just, like,
Yes,
healing our fresh, like, belly button piercing. So I honestly, to this day, like, I have no idea, like, what prompted us to,
I
like, go and it was
know.
just such a random spur of the moment thing, and it was so
Yes,
much
and
fun.
also, just a reminder too, this was before high-waisted pants became a thing again.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
before. Oh my gosh, but and I still have mine. I honestly forget I have it, like,
Oh,
it
I'm
is
so
what
sad. I had to take mine out. I haven't had mine for, like, the last year. I
that
know.
makes
It makes me so sad, but
it's o you
yeah.
have a valid reason.
I have a reason, but will I do it again? Maybe one day in the future, yes, for sure. Because I don't there's
Oh,
something about it too. I just loved like having that memory or like having that
yes.
it's such like a odd connection to have like to the Disney College program, but just like I don't know, whenever I would see it, it would remind me of that
It's like,
experience. So
that was a crazy story.
that was a weird day.
So, yeah, that's a better thing. That was a weird day. So, if you ever
Yeah.
do get it re-pierced, which A, will probably be a lot easier because it's already
Yes.
been pierced for
Already
10
got
years,
yeah.
um, I have to be there,
Yes, that's
okay?
true. Okay. We'll find maybe a little more reputable of a shop to go
Establish
to.
No,
And then I'll
I
get it
actually
redone.
I do remember the guy that pierced
Me
us. He
too.
was
He
like,
had the like he had the tattoos.
"Yes,
I'll never forget where it said in and out like right on his ears, like in one ear,
yes."
out the other.
Yeah. And he was very knowledgeable, like, he looked really
Yes.
intimidating for us little 20-somethings. We're like, "What part of town are we in?" But he was very knowledgeable, which definitely, like, helped put me at ease and stuff,
Oh,
but
absolutely. He was
whew,
very professional, everything was very clean, he definitely did a
yes.
great job. I'll never
Mhm.
forget, like, having a conversation with him too about all the tattoo pieces that he had, and he was showing us
Yes.
all the ones that he had done himself, like, on his own body, which I thought was, like, because at that time, like, I didn't have any tattoos either, like, I had never even, like, thought about it, like, getting a belly button piercing was the first, like, rebellious thing that I ever did. So I was just like, "Oh my gosh," to tattoo yourself at the time, I was like, "That's so crazy."
Definitely. Oh my gosh, yeah, he was wonderful, and,
Yes.
wonder if he's still doing what he's doing. I don't
I
know.
hope so. He was really great at it. He did
Yeah,
a really good job that day 10 years ago, so
yeah. So,
props
dude,
to
if you're
him.
listening and you have that
Whoever you
tattoo,
are.
reach out. We might need to re-pierce her belly button, and then maybe I'll finally get my nose pierced. I don't know. My mom will
Honestly, yeah,
kill me.
at that point, let's just fly to Orlando, find that shop, and just go back
Yes.
there. You should get your nose pierced, and then we could be twins. That would be
Well,
so
we
much
were
fun.
gonna get it together, but someone went ahead and
Well,
got it done.
COVID, and I just was very impatient.
It's a
I'll
typical
be with
Tuesday.
you when you get it done, and it'll practically be the same thing.
Okay,
Mine'll just be
okay.
3 years healed.
It's like the same time. We'll just take your nose ring in and out and
Yeah,
call it a day.
I'll swap my ring, I'll get a different one, that way it'll feel
Perfect.
new, it'll feel exciting.
Perfect. It'll feel shiny and new. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll go back to Disney related topics instead of just piercings and
Yeah,
tattoos.
yeah, yeah. This definitely took a turn.
It did. But other like crazy things that happened during our college program.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, you know what story we
yes.
should tell?
What?
The how we were able to go to the Halloween party. Have we talked about this story?
No.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
this is
let's
probably one of my other very favorite, like, stories, like,
and
and
obviously it was
it's just so
together.
random. Yes. Okay, so I forget it was probably in I forget when it was, like August or September at some point, but the way Vista Way is, like, right across the street from the apartment complex is a Walgreens, and
Mhm.
we used to go to this Walgreens, like, it felt like pretty much every day, like, we were
Mhm.
always there for one reason or another.
Yeah, and there
So
was
we're
a liquor
at
store attached to it, and
Yes.
my little 20-something self and Sarah being 21, I went outside, like,
Yeah.
like like a little
So
nerd I was.
I forget why we were there that day. We weren't buying alcohol because we were on the actual like Walgreens side of the shop because it was split.
Yes.
Like there were the two doors.
Yes.
So we were on the actual Walgreens side and I forget what we were getting, but I'll never forget. So you were checking out at the cash register and I needed
Mhm.
to get $20 out, I think, to pay like a cover for like party bus later that night or something to that
Yes.
effect. So I go and I walk up to the ATM and I get my 20 like I don't notice at first. I'm like going through the transaction. I like put my little card in, enter everything, request the $20, and when the $20 pops out at the bottom, it drops onto a stack of other like $20 like a pretty chunky stack of like other $20 bills. And I was like,
Yes.
wait a second.
And
So
this
at
wasn't an
very
accidental drop of, like, they gave Sarah
no.
more money. This was already there, and then Sarah's 20
Yes, so
was
that was
on
my
it.
thought at first. I, like, double checked my receipt. I was like, "Oh my gosh, should I accidentally just request, like, more than $20?" And I had my little receipt, and it didn't say that, so I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I'm like, "What do I do?" So in the moment, of course, I just grab this is so terrible. I sound like a bad person, but I literally just grabbed this stack of money, and Morgan's, like, done checking out, and we kind of walk out of the Walgreens, and I pull her aside, like, right outside the door, and I'm like, "Morgan, I like counted it up and it was like close to like I want to say it was like right around $300. I was like, I
Yeah.
just found like this money in the ATM. What do I do? And
Right,
you were
and
like,
I
take it.
no, no, I not immediately, no, that remember we were like,
We were
"Are we
freaking
on
out
a
for a second.
are we on, like, 2020 prank show where, like, we're gonna see
Yeah.
what if we're good people or not?" And so,
And I
we
mean, at
called
that
your
time, like,
mom.
I don't think combined we even had $300 to our name at that point. Like, this is
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
lot of money. So
Yes,
we
especially
called my mom.
wait, pause, speaking of money, we just to give you guys an idea of the inflation and the economy back then, we were making $7.25 an hour
Yeah,
working at
it
Disney.
was and we didn't even like, the way our paychecks worked, like, they would automatically, like, take rent and everything out, so, like, every
Yeah,
we got paid every week, but it was always, like it was not a lot of money by any means, like, just
yeah.
enough to basically, like, as a college student, live on for food, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you were
So,
not living a
yeah.
lavish life during your college
No.
program unless
No.
you brought money down, like, you
Yeah.
would have to save up for those like, we didn't do bougie restaurants, but anyway, sorry, we're
No,
getting off
not
track.
at all.
So,
Yeah,
doing things
so
exciting were not a thing.
It yes. So we find like I find this money in the ATM. We're standing outside the Walgreens, like freaking out. What do we do? So I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, this just happened. Would it be considered stealing if I take this money? Like, should I give it to what like back to Walgreens? Like, what do I do? Long story short, at the end of the day, we decided that it was best just to keep the money.
Well, what your mom
So
said is, "Don't give it to the Walgreens, these college kids, like, who are working there are just gonna pocket them themselves."
true. Very
Because
true.
they were our age and, like and so we're like, "Okay, like, that makes sense, like, you're
She did say
right."
that.
Yeah, I remember
So
that
we
specifically.
yeah,
That was our
we decided
deciding
yeah, we're like,
factor
"All right."
after panicking for 20 minutes
Also
probably outside the Walgreens.
yeah, like, also, like, just yeah, like, we there's no way for us to track down whose, like, this money was before whatever the situation was. So we ended up taking the money, and instead of being responsible with it, what we decided to do, because we both love Halloween so much, is I'm pretty sure, like, Halloween tickets had very recently gone on sale at that
Yes.
point in time, and we're like, well, now we have
We can't
$150 each.
yes.
Let's go to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
We could go, and I remember literally, like, we were we were not going to go. That was an extra
Mm-mm,
expense that we
not
just
at
could
all.
not afford. So the fact that the Halloween universe gifted us this money and it was just the right amount for both of us to
The
go, not
perfect
just one,
amount.
but
Yeah.
both. And honestly, okay, too, when you found the money, I was like, "Man, I hope she shares it with me." Even though she's rightful like, I
I know.
never
I'm
told
like,
you
I'm
that, but
keeping this. You're like,
I
please
wouldn't
split it with me.
please split it with me. Like, you don't have to, but like, and I would totally understand, but like, I really would love to if you split it with me. And we weren't even thinking like Halloween at the time. Like, it was literally just like, I really hope she shares it with me. That would be great. But it worked out perfect for each of us to have one ticket to go to the Halloween party.
Yes.
It
That
was so
was
fun.
it was so much fun because yeah, like you said, like we were not intending to go to this party at all because I don't know if they offered even a cast member discount for the tickets, or at least
I
maybe not at that time.
I think they did, but we missed out on it prior. Like, they all had sold
Oh,
out for all, like, the allotted cast member night, so not cast
okay.
members were taking over the park kinda deal.
Because I
But
remember
yeah,
that being a part of the factor why we weren't able to initially afford the tickets to be able to
yes.
go. So it's like it worked out so perfectly, and it was right around the time where we would have needed to buy our tickets. So yeah, it was basically like a gift from the universe at that point. I mean, could we have done maybe something a little more responsible? Probably.
Oh,
But
for
we
sure.
decided. We decided
Once
it
in a
was
lifetime.
absolutely. Do I regret it to this day? Absolutely not. I think
No.
that was probably one of the best, like, memories that I have, and we
Yeah.
had a blast at that Halloween party. I mean,
Yes.
there were definitely some circumstances that were not ideal, but all in all, that night was a ton of fun.
It
So,
was, and you dressed up as the Cheshire Cat, and
yeah.
I remember finding, like, little glitter stick-on cat things,
Yes,
whiskers for
yeah.
you, and, like, a cool sticker eyeliner that was all glitter, and we wrapped you in, really colorful purple and pink ribbon and stuff like
Yes.
that,
Oh my gosh,
and
and you did, like, a little bow in my hair to, like, make it look like little cat
yes,
ears, like, that was so much
yes,
fun. And
yes,
then
and
you dressed up as Ariel, but
which,
Ariel with
looking
her
back,
human legs.
yes, why did I do Ariel when Aurora is my favorite? Like,
I
I
don't
rem
know, was Aurora your favorite at that point in time, though?
I feel like she wasn't, but then almost immediately after, because I got invited to do, like, the typical Pinterest
Yes.
tutu thing as Aurora, and that's when
Princess
I did a
Day.
yeah,
Mhm.
Princess Day, and so that's when I did Aurora, and that's when I started dressing up as her, like, later on in college, and then, Disney bounding as her, Dapper Daying as her, Maleficent, going to Club 33 with
Yes.
horns, no big deal.
No
So
biggie.
casual, so casual.
Yeah, because I think at the time, maybe Ariel was, like, if not your favorite, definitely up there, like, in your
Yes.
favorites.
Maybe I, like,
So,
hadn't established who my favorite was at the time, and so, she was one of the most popular, her and Rapunzel. I don't even
yeah.
think Rapunzel had as big of hype, because I know the movie had already come
Mm-mm.
out, but not as big as a hype
Yes.
as she does now, so maybe that's what it was,
Yeah.
but I remember
I think
having a
so.
dingle hopper. I remember taking a picture with another lady that was dressed as Ursula, and she had all the
Yeah.
tentacles and
Oh my
everything,
gosh. Yes.
and, there was a photographer there, like, not a Disneyland photog or Disney World photographer. He took a picture of you, me, and the other girl we
Yeah.
went with, and that was so fun, and,
That was he, like, stopped us. He was like, "I love your guys' costumes, like, can I take a picture of you?"
yes, it
Which,
was
I
like
mean
portrait mode before portrait mode,
yeah.
like, with the fuzz background, like, so good. We're like, "Oh, I should put this on my Facebook," because, like, I didn't even have an Instagram. I didn't have a smartphone at the time, just to,
Mm-mm.
like, put everything in perspective.
I know, I think about that sometimes, I'm like, I'm kinda thankful, like, we didn't have, like, Instagram and all of that, like, back when
Yeah.
we did our program, because I feel like it would've not changed the dynamic, but it definitely would've, like, shifted things for us, like, this was, like, I think, of course, Instagram was an app and, like, we had one, but it wasn't, like, what it is
How
now.
Oh, for sure. I remember, like, when stories were a thing on Instagram,
Yes.
like, that was a brand new feature, and, like, tagging your friends in your stories was another feature, and, like, you both didn't have to
Mhm.
post the same exact thing because it would only be on their account or your account. Anyway. But yeah, we had
That
a
was so
wonderful
crazy.
time. We saw Alice, the Mad Hatter, Tweedledee and Tweedledum for you. I think we did see the Evil Queen
Mhm.
for you, and that's when I found out you love Frollo.
Yes. Hands
That
down,
was
still to this day, my favorite villain. So,
And
really
why
excited for
is
the
he your
new live
favorite
action.
villain?
I don't know, to me, like well, I guess it would be a toss up between, like, him and Scar just being, like, the 2 actual, like,
Oh,
most evil of
yeah.
the Disney villains, like, I don't know,
Okay,
there
you
was
like them because they're so evil, not
it's
because
so
you
like, yeah, like, it's
yeah, okay.
realistic to, like I just remember watching Hunchback as a kid. I wanna say that's probably one of the first, like, Disney animated movies I saw in theaters, and just, like,
Oh,
being like, "Oh my gosh," like, he is a scare like, he scared me as
he
a
is
child, so
oh,
wild.
for sure, and, like, I don't know if you watch on YouTube, Cinema Therapy, and
Mm-mm.
it is a licensed therapist and a movie director, and they break down different movies, whether from, like, a filmmaker's perspective and, a therapist's perspective, and one of them was about Frollo. I'll send it to you, but
Yeah.
he literally is, and they break it down from a psychological standpoint, like, he is pure evil. He is manipulating Quasimodo
Mhm.
into thinking that, the world is this way, you won't
They're
be
gonna
good
hate
without
you.
they're gonna
Yeah.
hate you, and, like, he truly is a bad guy, like, Maleficent, my favorite, turns into a dragon, that's why I love her, she's kind of a bad A baddie, I'll say a baddie.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a baddie, but you love to hate her kinda thing. Like, low key, I'm kinda rooting for her at the end of Fantasmic, not
Yeah.
gonna lie. The Mickey's gotta ruin it, but Frollo
Ugh.
is a just truly
He's just
bad
truly
guy.
evil. Like, he's
Mhm.
pure evil, like, there's no redemption for him, just
Mm-mm.
all of so, like, from I guess, I don't know what that says about me from a psychological standpoint, but just, like, for him to
You were
like, I like him because he's the most realistic villain, I feel.
yes,
Like, it's, again, a toss-up between him and Scar because, of course, Scar is the only villain, to my knowledge, that actually, like, murders
murders, and you see it.
somebody, and you see it
Yes.
on the screen.
Low key,
So
he's got a dope bad guy song, "Be Prepared."
yeah, be prepared.
Just get you.
Hey, Frollo, okay, I'm not gonna know the name of the song, but Frollo also has his song that he sings, Hellfire,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's called,
Oh, yes,
which is
that is like a
also a great song.
oh, the ooh, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I'm like, "Oh,
I
the
know.
it's very,
They
epic
play
is
it
the word.
during the Halloween fireworks, and it's honestly like my favorite part of the Halloween fireworks when they play Frollo's Hellfire song. Like, I don't know, he's just
Ooh,
like he's such a good bad guy that you can't not like I can't not have him as my favorite just because it's too perfect.
definitely,
So,
definitely. And, from a psychological standpoint, I think it's okay that you like him because you recognize that what he's doing is not
he's bad.
nice.
He's
He a
not a good
baddie.
guy.
He's
He's
not a
bad
good
for sure. But no, I'm pretty sure that's the first time that I met him in the parks was during that Halloween party that we went to in 2013.
Oh, because
So
you
that was
were
a really
very
cool
excited.
experience.
I was like,
I was so excited. I was
"Where
like,
did
I
she
don't care how
go?"
long
And it was
this
in
line
front
is.
yeah, and it was in front of the castle too, and I'm like, "Where'd she go?" And you were
That's
like,
right. Bye. I gotta
You
go.
freaking dipped."
I'll see you guys later. I need to get this. But I'll never forget too. So we met the Evil Queen, we met Frollo, and then we did meet Maleficent, but Maleficent was the only villain who didn't have a photo pass photographer with her
We didn't
for
meet
whatever reason.
Maleficent.
I thought we did. We have that very blurry picture with
No.
her.
Wait, are you sure that wasn't the evil queen? I don't remember meeting
It was
her.
oh my gosh, there's a picture and I don't know if I have it on my Facebook or in my phone, but there's a very blurry picture of us meeting Maleficent during this Halloween party. And that was also the first time I had ever met her, or at least what I remember to be her. But she was the only one who didn't have photo pass. And I remember it being very
Huh.
upsetting. We're like, why doesn't she have photo pass?
She's the baddie.
Hang on. Okay,
Oh,
I
because
gotta scroll through the archives really
give
fast.
us a minute. You
Let me see if I have this picture.
because while you're doing that, like, I thought my first time meeting Maleficent, at least, like, after I fell in love with Sleeping Beauty and, like, okay, Sleeping Beauty is my favorite princess, decided, it is there, and Maleficent is my favorite villain, but I thought the first time I met her was at Disneyland for the Halloween
There's me and
party.
Frollo.
Ah, yes! So and I'll post the
And the Evil
pictures,
Queen.
yes! Oh, love it,
Okay, hang
um,
on. Let me
but
see.
I thought the first time I met Maleficent was at the Disneyland thing, and I went up by myself, and the person in front of me was taking quite a long time longer than normal. I wasn't impatient by any means, but it was just amping up my anxiousness. Oh, she looks so bad.
I know.
She does. She looks
That's why
way
she didn't
better
have
today.
photo pass. But yeah, no, this is the only photo I have. Like, I've got the photo pass with the Evil Queen and with Frollo, but I've only got this very blurry, like, not so great.
Okay.
And then there's
S-
us.
Look
Oh,
at
it's
us
so
little
cute.
nugget babies.
But yeah,
Oh, that's wild. Okay, okay.
you blacked it out. You blacked it out of your memory because you're like, this ain't it. Like,
This ain't the
good
real
try, Disney, but
Maleficent.
this, yeah.
Try again in 2017, 18 when I go again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, that was a rough Maleficent.
Yes.
Nothing to the character, just the
No.
costuming and the face paint is
Yeah.
too green and
They
no, no,
hadn't
no, no.
perfected her quite yet. And then I'll never
Yeah.
forget we waited in line to meet Tarzan and Jane and literally like we were next in line, next family party to go up and Tarzan's like, "Yeah, I got to go.
I
Catch you
gotta
later."
go. Because
And
the
we
girls in
waited like 30 minutes for this
we
like
did.
interaction.
Oh my gosh, because I love Jane. I when I ask people questions of what not your favorite character, but what character you most identify with, I'm very, very much a Jane from Tarzan. I'm a hot mess, love
Mhm.
animals, the whole thing. And I was excited to see her, but like, Tarzan, us little teeny bopper, 20 something year old seeing a very attractive
Yes.
semi-shirtless man. It was like, "Oh my gosh." And then the girls in front of us, I remember it wasn't that like, you and me are patient. We're very patient people, but they
Mhm.
were taking an obnoxious amount of time to the point where it wasn't just hurting us, it was hurting the guests behind us as well.
The girls in front of us for Tarzan were
Oh,
each taking,
yes.
like, individual like, having their own conversations, just, like,
Yes.
making the line move 10 times as slow as it was.
Right. I feel like as a courtesy, especially nowadays, now that we're more theme park veterans and stuff, I feel like, if it's a character that you really like and really want to spend quality time with, I think like I'll hang back and like be the dance mom taking pictures and videos. But
Mhm.
if it's just a general meet and greet, like we'll both go up together, we'll both have that like a mutual conversation between all of us
Yeah.
and then take a group picture and then maybe ask for a quick like one selfie or like one picture
Yes.
standalone, get
Super
out of there.
fast.
Right, right, and so that was not what these girls were doing, and so we missed
Mm-mm.
Tarzan, and that was a bummer, but I do remember this was years later, the first time I actually met Tarzan, I was with a significant other. I don't think I've talked about this on my show, but I've talked about other shows, but I was so nervous to meet him. He's one of 2 characters that I actually was nervous to meet, and it was him and Iron Man, and I
Oh,
just got so starstruck with Iron Man, and I'm like, "Dad?
Dad, is
I'm
that
your
you?
dad, I'm your daughter
It's me,
Morgan. Hello,
Morgan.
it's me. Hi, anyway, copyright." Um
Look.
But Tarzan, I was, like, shaking and nervous, and I was like, "Where's Jane?" Because I don't know what to say right now, and then he looks down at my shoes, and I'm wearing my Birkenstocks, and I look at
Oh.
his shoes. He's wearing Birkenstock style Jesus sandal type things, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I have the same sandals as Tarzan, like, this is embarrassing." Like,
You're like, "We're
it was
twins."
it was the most, like, uncomfortable character interaction I've ever had. Oh my god.
I get that way. I don't know why. Like, I just like freeze up right before character interactions sometimes. Like, I'm really excited, especially when it comes to fur characters. Like, I'm excited to meet them and to like get to like have those cute pictures. And I have no idea like what to say or how to interact. Like, I kind of let them take the
Yeah,
lead and I just interact in the way that they're kind of like going with because
yeah.
otherwise I'm like, "Hey, Mickey, like, nice to see
"Hi."
you. It's me. Can I get a picture? Thank you." But
Yes.
it just I don't know, I'm so and I am always envious because you're always so good at, like, creating, like, those conversations or at least, like,
Oh,
having something to, like, say or to,
yes.
like, mention to the characters to help facilitate that interaction because if it's me, I'm just like, Hey, I'm
I
here
don't
for
know
a
what to do with
picture, thank you." I don't know what to do with
No,
my hands.
I think together we do really well because I'm obviously good at starting it, but you're good at keeping it going. I remember specifically, and this was outside of the Disney College program, it was when you got engaged, and we go meet Anna and Elsa and your now fiancé, well,
Yeah.
now it's been years, but John, your
Yes.
husband, was recording for us, and we go meet Anna and Elsa. No, we first meet Kristoff, and then the
We
next room was
first
Anna
meet
and
Kristoff, yes,
yes.
yeah.
And, he we were like, "Oh, well," they ask, "What have you done today?" And you're like, "I just got
Mhm.
engaged." And I go, "To a man she just met." Or no, he says, "Not to a man," or what was
He was
it?
like,
Do
"I
you
hope
remember?
not." I was like, "Oh, I just got engaged this morning," and he's like, "Hopefully not to a man that you just met." And I was like, I think we kind of played into it, and we're like, "Oh no, we met him in line, like coming into the
Line.
parks. Yeah, like we just
Yes.
met this morning. Like, do you approve?"
Yes, like, I just remember our banter was just so spot on, and it was so fun, and, like,
Yeah.
I started it and you kept it going, like, it was
Yes.
really fun. Oh my
That was
gosh,
probably
and
one of my favorite like interactions, like meet and greets that I've
mhm,
had with Anna and Elsa. Was that
yes,
one
and
that we did?
with Kristoff, and he says, "Your name
Yeah.
isn't Hans, is it?" And I think
John's
John
like,
was like, "Maybe." I think he was playing along with it too.
he's like, "Don't worry, it's my middle name." No, I'm just kidding. John
Oh,
Hans.
John Hans. That's actually a very fancy name.
It's very
John Hans.
formal.
Yes. But let's do at least 1 or 2 more stories from our college program. I'm trying to think, oh, I know a story, and you can help fill in the gaps for me because from my perspective, I didn't know what the heck was going on. But
Uh-oh.
so it's you and me. We're working at World of Disney and our mutual friend Emily, but you were a lot closer with her at the time, but she was so sweet
Yes.
and such a kind person. Emily, if you're listening to this, we need to hang out. It's been way too long. We both miss you.
I know.
Ugh.
I miss Emily so much. Emily was one of the very first friends that I made during my Disney college program. Her and Lexi were the two people that I met first during the World of Disney training, and they were just some of, and still are some of the best people that I've ever met.
Yes.
So I love
Oh,
Emily so much. I miss
yes.
her.
Yes. And I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but one of our coordinators, and I won't name names, I don't know what y'all said, but y'all were
Listen.
complaining about something, and I was just there by association. You kinda know where I'm going, so I'll let you take it from your
Yeah,
perspective.
absolutely. Okay, well, no, so to preface this, Emily and I would do this literally every single night that we were there, every single shift. We had a really good relationship with this one specific coordinator, and he was always the one that happened to work like the late night shift, so he always seemed to be on with us. And when you're working from Disney for Disney, you can get something called an early release or an
Or known
ER.
as yes, ER.
Yeah, so every like cuz
Not
when
emergency
you're
room, ER.
no. When when you're 21 and all your friends that night are going to House of Blues in downtown Disney and you just want to be a part of that and you have to work until 2 a.m., you're basically like, let me get the heck out of here as early as I can. So literally every shift that we worked with this coordinator, Emily and I would go up and we'd be like, hey, can we get an ER tonight? And it would literally be like 10 minutes into our shift. Like, had barely even started working at this point. And every
I've
single
had enough
time,
today. Let me go
yeah,
home. This is
I've
ridiculous.
seen enough. I've worked my 10 minutes. I gotta go. So every single time it became a running joke and we would just pester him. We'd be like, can we get an ER? Can we get an ER? Like, oh, I've already been here for an hour. Can I get an ER? So this one night, it actually like I guess he just caved from the pressure or he
Yeah.
was just done
Like,
with
"These
us.
girls,
But
he's
he's
like, "Let me throw him a bone.
get him
I'm
out of
tired of you.
here.
Get him out of here." But I never did this. Not to say, like, I never
Maybe that
occasionally
was the reason. Maybe he's like, "Oh, if Morgan's in on it this time, alright. Like, she
maybe.
doesn't normally bother me like this, so let me do it."
And then we were able to go home, and I think because I feel like we were in one of the back hallways, and you 2
Yes.
were pestering him, and I was, like, maybe 5 feet away because I don't know what was said. But I remember you turning around and, like, grabbing my arm or something to, like I don't know, I envision it this way, but, like, I'm like, "What are we doing?" You're, "We're getting an ER, we're
Like,
going
"We're
home, like, let's go
going."
before he changes his mind." I think he actually said that, like, "Go before I change my mind."
Yeah.
We
This was
bibbidi
yeah.
bobbidi booed out of there.
We were we did not take his warning lightly. We were like, "All right, we'll see you tomorrow." So we
Yes.
got out of there. But was this the night this was not the night we went to Hollywood Studios, was it? This was another
No.
night. Okay, because that's
Another
also a
night.
very memorable night that I have. So
Yes.
we could tell
'Cause
that story too.
yes! So this story is separate from that night we got off of an ER, but go ahead.
So you had a shift that was later than mine. I was super lucky that day, and I had a shift that got off at like 5 o'clock, which is unheard of. I was like, oh my
Unheard of.
gosh, I have the whole rest of the day. What
All
do
this
I
f
do?
all these time for activities.
So I was like, I'm gonna go to Hollywood Studios. And I think that I don't know if you were like coming in or like if you had already clocked on, but I was like, I think I want to go to studios for the rest of the night. And you're like, I want to go too. So we like made
Yeah.
a plan. And I don't did you get an ER that night or did you also get off like semi early?
I think I was getting very close to my closing time, but I was
Okay.
able to, cause I think it was a very stressful from my perspective, a stressful position of, like, I don't know if I can meet up, but, it was
Mhm.
very close. So I think I got out, like, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour earlier than I was supposed to.
Yes.
No, I remember being like, "Sarah, can you please go get me a change of clothes? I don't wanna wear this atrocious costume to Hollywood Studios. I didn't bring a change of clothes. Can you
No.
please go run and get me like, let me borrow something?
Yes.
I don't even care."
Yeah. So there was enough time for sure between our shifts for me to run back to Vista to grab clothes and then to meet you at studios. So
Mhm.
I'll never forget, this was also during Christmas time because it was when the Osborne family Christmas light show was still
Yes!
happening. And I want to say that was probably like one of the first times that I actually got to experience it. So that was also a part
Mhm.
of the reason why I wanted to go to studios, like getting out so early. So
Yes.
I remember I got your change of clothes, I got you the shirt, I got you the pants, got you everything you needed except for a pair of
The
shoes.
shoes. But I didn't ask for it, so it was, like, something and, like, you wear the big clunky black work
Yes.
shoes that are non-slip, whatever, and I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna wear
Very
this." Like,
obviously, like, in my opinion, like cast member shoes, like not like a casual, like, let's walk around the park and be comfortable kind of shoe. Like they were
yeah,
definitely like very
worker
work
shoes.
specific. Yeah. So I was like, oh shoot, I forgot shoes. So then we ended up buying you a pair of flip flops, I think it was, right?
Like,
Or
the kitschy, cheap, ridiculous flip-flops, and I
yeah.
remember too, it was close to Christmas time, and we have now been in Florida for 6.5, 7 months, so our
Mhm.
blood is now Florida blood, and
Thin.
it is
Yeah.
colder for
Cold.
us. It is so much colder for us now, where, like, a normal tourist coming from anywhere part of the country would be like, "Oh, this is great, I can wear shorts, maybe a light jacket." We were freezing. So,
Freezing
we
cold.
bought those, like, vintage Mickey, Walt Disney World
That's
gray
right.
sweatshirts,
With his
and
little like Santa hat on him, right?
you bought the Santa hat
I
one,
got the Santa hat.
I wanted just the regular one, and so I remember that picture of us, like, hugging in front of one
Mhm.
of the landmarks with our sweatshirts on. It was so, so
That
cute.
was so much fun. But then, so to close out that night after we had gone and seen like all the Christmas lights and like done all the cute stuff that we wanted to do, I was like, let's ride Rock and Roller Coaster. And I
Yes!
forget, I don't know if we should include this as part of the story.
Let's do it, we got nothing to lose.
I got nothing on. Then Disney's not hiring me back at this point,
No.
so that's okay. So
That's
I
okay.
I think I had just recently come off of a trip where I had somebody come out to visit me because I had a magic band in my backpack.
You had
So I
2.
no, I had 1. I had 1, and then remember we
Oh.
found another magic band. I wanna say we either found it in the bathroom or we
Yes.
found it, like, somewhere, like, we found it in the park, essentially, and I think
Yeah.
initially we found that one, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have a magic band in my backpack." So I put my magic band on, you put that one on, and we walk up to Rock and Roller Coaster, and we were like, "Hey."
We did a fib. We did a fib.
We were like, "Hey, we have fast passes for this ride at this time, but we can't like get our app to work or like whatever the
Yeah.
situation was. So
I
can you
think we said,
scan?"
"Oh, we checked out today, so they
Yeah,
don't work
they're not
anymore."
working anymore.
Oh, because it wasn't a fast pass, it was extra magic hours
Oh my
and
gosh,
the
that's
evening.
right.
That's what it
Oh my
was,
gosh,
and you
yes,
needed
you
a
are 100%.
hotel. Oh, no, that I needed your help to get there, so no, it's both
Yes.
of us,
Okay,
but
you're
that's
absolutely yes.
because like, a normal guest, you're donezo, you're done, but the
They're
magic
looking for the
band,
magic bands.
which were still so brand new, they were looking
They
for the
yeah, they
magic.
had just rolled out, like, during our program, like, they were, like,
Mhm,
in the, like, very early phases of rolling these things
mhm,
out.
like
So we were like, "Oh,
1.0.
perfect, we both now have magic bands, so let's." So that's oh my gosh, that's right, so it wasn't a fast pass, so we
Yeah.
walk in to the Rock and Roller Coaster area, and they're like, "Oh, we need to scan scan your magic bands to make sure like you're here for the hours." So
Yeah.
I like go to scan mine or whatever, and clearly it's not working because it's
Yeah,
old from like a previous trip. And then they try to scan yours or the one that you found, and that one
yeah.
wasn't working either. And we're like, oh well, we we checked out this morning from our hotel,
Yeah.
and I don't to this day I don't know if they knew we were lying or if they just like were like whatever, like just go.
Yeah.
But
Or they just
it worked.
didn't care, just, "Oh, we got
Yeah.
to ride Rock and Roller Coaster," and I feel like I remember those pictures with the sweatshirts on, just, like, victory! Like, we did it! Like, I
I
bet there's,
know, we
like
were so excited. And I mean, how like, in the grand scheme of things, like, of all the like, is that a bad thing to do? Probably not, it probably happens all the time. But I was
Yeah.
just like I felt like such a rebel, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, we're here for
Yes.
like, extra magic hours, like,
Yes.
how crazy."
Okay,
I
I
hope
feel
we're
like
not telling, like, all these super incriminating stories.
people get in fights, people drink water out of the thing, like, us just getting a free ride rock and roller coaster was a magical moment that was
Yes.
curated by us.
By our own design. Oh my gosh, that was so
Yes.
fun. Yeah, that's another very
Oh,
distinctive night that, like I mean, all of it, of course, is super memorable, but that's, like, one of the first memories that always pops
yes.
into my mind.
And I think so too, going back to the Osborne family lights, like, when I think of them, I think of that night, it was just us 2,
Mhm.
and we were just in awe, and I think we were just out there watching it 'cause we're always so busy, we're always working nights, so we never get to fully experience it, so
Experience, yeah.
that was our one and only time, or, like, we may have seen it again prior or previous Disney World trips in our childhood, but that
Mhm.
was the time, and very shortly after, they got rid of him, and we're like,
I
"No."
know. I wanna say it wasn't the year after our program, but it was very shortly after then, and I was so
Yeah.
sad, I was like, "Oh, like, I'll never get to experience that again," which was kind of a
Yeah.
bummer, but I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
thankful for that memory.
Definitely, and, okay, so our very, very last story is at the end of our college program, a week or 2 before our college program ends. It is my 21st birthday. Luckily, all of you guys were of age, and, I was just like me and Alicia were the only 2 youngest that weren't l of
Yes,
legal
who
age at
weren't 21 yet, because we
fun.
celebrated a couple days before your birthday, right? Like, before your
N
actual
no, we celebrated, like, the night
the
of,
day. That's
and
right,
then
we
the
went Paradiso 37.
yes, and
That's
that's
right, okay.
yes. Okay, so we'll start on the night before, and, um, so that was fun. So we go to Paradiso 37, I believe it is,
Yes.
and I ordered a mojito, and I was like, "I do not like mojitos. This is disgusting. Absolutely not." I don't even think I finished it. I think I traded drinks with Kimmy, who was my Disney College
Probably, yeah,
roommate. But yeah, so we started there. We go to Raglan Road because obviously Disney College Program, 1
obviously.
bar is not enough. And and again, like, I don't like necessarily being the center of attention, but it was so nice to just have everybody, like, it was a good strong group of like 7, 8 of us, like, going out for my birthday. This is the day before. We go to
I know
Raglan
I think
Road.
we went out at midnight because you were able to buy drinks. We went out at
Yes.
midnight, so it was,
Y-
like, right
uh,
when you turned 21.
yes, I think you're exactly right.
We
And
well, okay, well, no, so going back really fast, so at Paradiso, before we left, you did not like the drink that you got, so we decided instead to take tequila shots. So, we
Yes.
took tequila shots at
Pictures evident
Paradiso,
picture
and
evidence.
then we went to so we were already feeling pretty good by the
Mhm.
time we got to Raglan Road.
Drinking, tequila and then mixing it with Irish drinks, whether I don't think I had any beers or Guinness or anything like that, but
Mm-mm.
I had something good, and I was getting very tipsy, and I don't know if you remember this, but I from previous friends that I made during the summer portion before I met you, I made some friends that were really into Irish bars, and so there's one at Universal, and I learned a bunch of, like, Irish songs, one of them being the Black Velvet Band, and so
Oh.
there was live music at Raglan Road. I was, like, lot tipsy, and I go up and I'm like, "You guys have to play Red Velvet Band. It's my birthday. Please play it." And it's a really good, like, upbeat song, and so they announce it, they say, "This is for Morgan's 21st birthday." The whole room erupts and everything, it was so cool. But then this girl comes over to me, and she goes, "I'm a Sagittarius too. I bought you a drink." Do you not remember this?
No.
Okay, I think you were but yeah, you were chit-chatting and, this girl comes up to me and she's like, "I'm a Sagittarius too, here's a drink, happy birthday." In my mind, my drunken state mind, all I hear is, "It's my birthday," and I go, "Happy birthday," and she goes, "No, no, no, no," and mind you,
No,
this is
it's
told to
your
me
birthday.
it's your birthday, and this is told to me the next day, so I don't remember, I just go, "Happy birthday." So you can kind of guess the state of
Where we
drunkenness
were
I was
at.
I was in, and it was so funny. Just, "Happy birthday," like the little dormouse in, Alice in Wonderland, and he's just comes out, "Happy birth" like, that was literally me, it was so funny. And then the next day, I woke up feeling awful. The
Terrible.
combination of mixtures and things, I learned really
Oh,
quickly,
yeah.
and I remember our friend had apple cider vinegar.
Oh.
And I
Oh.
swear to this day, that was the only thing that, like, kept me going. Like, that, I think someone ordered Chick-fil-A or something. And I think it actually worked out
It
too because
was
my birth
probably the Chick-fil-A. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, the Chick-fil-A and the apple cider vinegar, but I remember, like, taking a shot and being like, "Oh," but it, like, kept me going for this big day that we had planned at Epcot on my actual 21st birthday on the 17th, and
Yes.
but we were dumb. We did not start in Mexico. We started in Canada. But
Okay, yeah, we
backtrack.
goofed up.
We were very silly. Yeah, and I remember Andrew, not your Andrew, but Andrew C was there, and he,
Oh,
like I know, I love him.
I miss him
Eh
so much. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Like, I
Andrew,
think
if you're
about all
listening,
these people and I feel like I'm just like, wow, like,
where are you?
I know, like, oh, we had like such great memories, like such great friendships, and it's just like how time and distance and all that. But I
Yes,
just
I need
love
to reach out
thinking
to all
about.
these people and be like, "Come
I
on the
know.
show." Be like, "Sarah, I got Billy back. Come on the show.
Perfect.
You can help me
Let's
co-host."
listen.
But if
111th episode. Meet you and Billy. Let's do it.
perfect. Or no, Andrew came out and he had a birthday button for him. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so thoughtful. Like as the chaos of the whole plan of the day we had, I was like not thinking about like a silly birthday button. But
Yeah.
I remember Canada being uneventful. I know I wanted popcorn. So we got that
Mhm.
popcorn. And I knew I wanted to take a drink at every single spot, obviously, but I took a picture too to like prove it. And,
Yes.
we had a modest group in the beginning, but, like, as the day went on, more friends were either getting off work or met up with us later and left, like, it was so great having everybody there, but Sarah was there the entire time. I
Yes.
remember in England, the UK, we went to Rose and Crown, the bar.
Yeah.
I think that's what
I
it's called.
think that's why we started in Canada because a lot of the people that we wanted like we were with wanted to go to Rose and Crown first. To like
That
I
makes
forget
sense.
what the drink is called, but it's like that Welch Dragon drink,
Yes!
right?
Yes!
Yes.
And
Everybody's
every
like,
time
we gotta get it, we gotta get it. So that's why
Mhm.
we started in Canada to get there before
Yes.
the night got a little too crazy.
Yes, and it's a great fruity, sweet drink. It's green, there's a pineapple in it. So good. And years since then, I always ask that because like I love that drink and it's been on and off the menu. So I feel like super
Mhm.
bougie, being like, oh, can I get this off the menu item? And they're like, oh, gotcha, beep bop boop. And so if you guys want to feel fancy, go get a Welsh Dragon, the UK. They should know what it is. It's awesome. And then we go to France. I remember getting the slushies. Um,
Yes.
and I think Stephanie picked up that tab or Leanne did, and it was so nice. Like, I was
We
not
all had,
expect
like, those little gift cards, remember? Like, we all,
Yes!
like, had loaded up because this was also during no, this was after Food and Wine, right?
It was after Food and Wine
Yeah,
because during Food and
after Food
Wine
that's yeah, that's
should
a
we
whole 'nother episode. No, that's a whole 'nother episode, we'll talk about Food
Oh,
and
it's a whole
Wine.
nother episode.
We'll talk about Food
Oh!
and Wine on 111, so
No,
stay
it needs to
tuned.
be universal. We need to just keep bringing you back. It
Ah,
has
that's
to
what I
be
keep forgetting.
it's gonna be
We'll do a
an episode
special
with
food yeah, we'll do a special because then we can talk about Disney World and Disneyland Food and Wine because 'cause we've done both, so
Yes, but Disney Worlds during our college program got ratchet by the end of it.
yeah, that was to be continued on that for
To be
sure.
continued. Give you a little teaser for future
Yeah,
episodes, but
but from our adventures at Food and Wine, we had learned to get the little wristband gift
Mhm.
cards. That way, when you're buying all these drinks,
You're
to
not
equally split everything and to make sure
Mhm.
everybody is like, you would just like scan your gift cards. So I remember like
Yes.
all of us having those little like wristband gift cards during this whole
Mhm.
adventure.
Yes. Oh, and we got bread in France. A
Yes, the
big
baguette.
the baguettes, because we are like, well, we got all these countries to do. We got all this alcohol to consume. Better put
Gotta
some
eat.
bread in our bellies. And honestly, that probably saved us a
Smart.
lot.
It did.
So we got a baguette from France, and then we go to Morocco. I think we got another slushy style drink or something.
Yes.
Again, I don't really
This is when
remember
it
the
starts getting a little blurry. Yeah, because we
Yes,
also
yeah,
had our water bottles with us that may or
yes,
may not have been full of water or another liquid. So
yes,
we were feeling pretty good by this point in
and,
time.
still a little left over from the night before, and,
Yeah.
I really don't remember the other countries, but specifically remember Germany because we had to sit down at
Mhm.
the big German restaurant, and, I have to
Oh,
drink
that's
at
right.
Germany, and I had to drink out of the boot, and I
Das
don't
Boot.
like Das Boot, and I don't like beer, and so I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna drink a little bit of this," and a friend at the time finished it off for me, so I was like,
Mhm.
thank you," because I don't want anything to go to waste, but I remember just, like, one of our coordinators in the China pavilion, because I remember us, like,
Mhm.
meeting back there, she came all the way out of her way, and, like, she's management, you don't think you're gonna make strong connections with somebody, Susan.
Susan.
Do
Yeah, oh my gosh,
Susan.
yeah. I
So, I
remember
remember
Susan.
her coming out for my birthday, she bought me a drink, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," and I know she didn't stay long because she had to go or something, but I was like,
Yeah.
"You are so sweet, thank
Very
you."
thoughtful.
Yes, and
And then
so
the other Sean and Mackenzie and Claudia all met up with us, I'm pretty sure at that point too.
Yes,
So like at this point we had like a massive group with us. Like we had a
we did.
good amount of people.
Yes, it was being in the college program, like, yes, it was on my birthday and stuff, and please tell me if you feel the same way too. I feel before going to college program, I was such a shy person. I was such an insecure person, but like doing the college program, you find your tribe, you find your
Oh
people.
yeah.
And I think my birthday celebration, yes, it was my birthday, but like I keep saying, like it was just bringing everybody together, celebrating
Yes.
trauma bonding accomplishment that we had and everything.
Well, yeah, because it's everybody's like maybe first or for me definitely first like experience living away from home for a long period of
Yes.
time, and it's just like the people that you meet and the connections that you make, they're just so strong because they
Yes.
essentially become your family out there. Like those are the people that you go to when anything is happening, so it really just like it's crazy how much it connects you, and it's just
Definitely.
like such a special experience, I think.
I agree, and you grow so much as a person, like, all of those crazy hours, those horrible pay, all the bad times, I would not
Hmm.
ever take back for, like, the person we became and
No.
the moments that we had, like, it ugh, it was just so good, and, like
It was. I agree 1,000%. And it's such like a special memory to have like for your birthday too, because that was one of the last times with it being December. Like a lot of people's programs ended very shortly after that. So that was like the
yeah.
last kind of
Hoorah.
hurrah, it felt
Yeah.
like.
Round out the trip, we go, Japan, Norway, and I end in Mexico, which, most people would not have made it all the way to Mexico, but we did. We, built a tolerance. And I remember us going out later that night, like crazy animals we are, looking back, I don't know how we had the tolerance we did. It's
No.
absolutely insane. Um, it was crazy, but like you were saying, like, it's our first time away from home and like again our last hurrah, but we were all together for a lot of big holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Christmas, New Year's, like we were all away from our families and so we became our own family. Um our For example, our Christmas tree and like our Thanksgiving, like we all had a Thanksgiving, we all brought different foods together into somebody's
Yeah.
apartment. Our Christmas tree, we put a makeshift little tree together and put a trifold advertisement of a Victoria's Secret angel on the top. We're like, "There's our angel." We
There's
got
our angel
crafty.
topper. We're good. We all came up with our own ornaments to put on there too, which was a
We
lot of
did.
fun. So
Oh,
that was
and
such a special moment.
we did White Elephant too.
That's right, we did do or not White Elephant or Secret Santa, because I remember I got you a gift. I got you the Pillow Pet
Oh,
Simba.
you did. did, and I got you a cat iPhone case or
Yeah,
something
you got
like
me a
that
phone
because you
case and, like, socks and, like, a makeup bag and stuff, like,
yes.
or maybe that was our own individual gift exchange,
I
but
think it was our own because I
we did our own.
remember for the white elephant, I brought a giant jar of pickles, and
That's right.
yes,
I
and
don't
I won't
remember what I brought or what I got from that then. I
I
remember
don't
wanting the
either.
pickles, though.
Yes, because I remember Stephanie opening it because obviously it's like a big, heavy present, you don't know what's inside, and she opened it up, and I just remember and, like, the exact, like, pitch and tone too, "I hate pickles."
I was like, "I'll take them. 'em.
You're like, "I'll
Don't
trade."
you worry. I will
Someone had
trade you."
yes, and someone had a Taylor Swift CD or, like, a Taylor Swift
Oh.
something. Did
Oh,
you
I'm
end up
so sad. I can't remember, like, what I brought or what I got.
my go-to
Black
Secret Santa
that
is
out.
pickles as the only reason, but, ugh, again, our college program, like we were saying, a blessing and a curse. It was the best of
Yes.
times, it was the worst of times, but overall, like, how did you feel about the program, and would you recommend it to anybody nowadays?
Oh, absolutely. If and when I have kids, I want them to do the program because it I think is one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. So
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
absolutely 10 out of 10 recommend. I would
yeah.
not trade a single second for anything.
It's made our beautiful friendship of 10 years, and, we've
Yeah.
been long distance, and we've been very within driving distance of each other, and I'm so thankful to be, like, be your best friend, and, I got to be in your wedding, and, like, it's
Yeah.
if the only
We've
thing I
built
got
memories from there for sure.
yes. Oh my goodness, and it doesn't always have to be around Disney and theme parks, but
Mm.
I'm so thankful for you, Sarah.
Me
I love you.
too.
I
And
love
I'm so
you.
excited to be able to celebrate this milestone for your podcast too. Like, what a special moment, I think. So, thank
I was
you.
having thank you for coming on, and again, we got you get one Universal episode too.
All right,
We
I'm
gotta
gonna
do
start
that
thinking
one.
of the stories. We'll figure it
Yes.
out.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit different structure of the episode, but we gave you a lot of good stories and a lot of good content, and you guys should definitely apply for Disney College Program. The housing is looks like you're at a resort, so it's much better than
Way
what we were.
better. Yeah,
Way
way
better.
better. Like,
But
can I go back?
it's like, can I just vacation there? Like this looks
Listen,
gorgeous.
okay, hear me out. 10-year anniversary. Let's both sign up for some classes at our local community college, reapply, just go back.
You just go back and just live in those. No.
I would not survive. There's
I
not a
will
chance.
I will agree to recreating our old costumes with some thrift store high-waisted khaki pants and the
Perfect.
ugly button-up shirt that we had to wear. I'm down for that, not necessarily reapplying. I'm done with school. We done so.
We're done. We're good. We had our time, and
We
now
served our time. You know
yeah.
how they say in the military, "Thank you for your service," like
No.
oh my goodness. But Sarah, thank you so much for coming on. And where can we find you if we wanted to follow along your adventures? Because you still go to theme parks, even though you're on the West Coast.
Occasionally, yeah, I have my own personal Instagram page, so not nearly as exciting, but it's Sarah Watson with 3 underscores,
Mhm.
and that's about it. Or
Awesome,
Facebook,
awesome.
I guess.
Oh, Facebook. No, no Facebook.
Nobody
We don't
used
need.
Facebook.
Nobody uses Facebook except for
Okay,
grandmas.
cut that part out. Just the
W-
Instagram.
w- just the Instagram. We got you. But Sarah, I love you. Thank you so much
I
for
love
coming
you.
on. And I'll see you soon for a Universal episode for 111.